Welcome to Haul Yeah Comics. My name is Nate, and I have issues. Today's issues all came from Whatnot, and every last one of them is a mistake. It's a book I shouldn't have bought, like a book I didn't really want, but I just kind of impulsively grabbed it for one reason or another. I'm sure we've all been in the same boat. I mean, one of my biggest problems with Whatnot is if I see a book I really like and I grab it, then I'm kind of invested in that auction because now I've paid shipping. And if I order more books, then, I'm making the shipping actually less because I'm getting more for my money, but I'm not because I'm spending more money. It's this like vicious cycle that in the moment makes sense, and then when the books arrive and I look at them, I'm really asking myself, what the heck was I thinking? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm an idiot. And when you are dumb, when you make a dumb purchase, when you do something stupid, I think you should own it and be honest about it. And that's all of the books I'm going to show you today. I think you'll see too, like, I'm not completely like upset with myself, and I think I can find something to do with most of the books, although, that may not be the case for all of them. I mean, with all that said, let's go ahead and look at some comic books that I didn't mean to buy. Up first, I want to show you NFL Super Pro issue number 6. Now, I know what you're going to say. You didn't mean to buy such a crappy book. Yeah, I did. My problem is I already have this one. So this book is somewhat known. There was an issue, and actually the person included some articles on the back here, which I knew about this, but this book was apparently recalled because it is insensitive to the Hopi Nation, the Hopi Native American Nation, in the way that they depict some of the characters. And so you can see that these Native American based villains on the front that NFL Super Pro is tackling were, considered not culturally sensitive. So this book was apparently recalled. Again, I am putting this run together because it is such a ridiculous book. It's something that I want, but this is something that when I got it and I went to file it, I realized I already have one. So this is a book I regret, not because I didn't want it, but because I already had it and I definitely didn't want a second one. Hey look, it's Smurfs issue 1. Guess what I don't collect, or watch, or really like? The Smurfs. My wife does collect the little Smurf miniatures, so I think I'm going to give this to her, and I think I had that in mind actually. Like when I saw this, I thought, oh, I could give this to my wife, not for her to read, but to use as a display piece with her little 80s Smurf figurines. But I'm not sure that I really needed to pay money for this. I don't think I paid much. Matter of fact, most of the books on Whatnot that I get, I usually swipe at like, $3 or $4 at a max. So I don't feel like I overpaid for these things, but again, this was just something that I didn't need, and the person I got it for didn't really need it either. So another kind of regret. Now this book is one that I wanted. I wanted Giant Superman Annual number 3. I just kind of wanted it in way better condition. I knew that this was low grade when I got it. I mean, look at this thing. It is so bad. But in addition to being completely chewed up, it has no back cover, which I didn't know. And the front cover is just literally falling apart. But, I mean, no back cover means you can see the Alfred E. Newman goofy Superman illustration. So, any condition, you buy the book, not the condition. I just want to read it, but I'm almost afraid to. This thing is so beat up. It's going to fall to pieces. But, if it's a book I can read and I only paid, like I said, $3 or $4 for it, I guess I can't completely regret this one. But it's one that if I see it in a better condition, I'm going to want to upgrade because this one's so bad. So I'm kind of on the fence here on how much I regret this one, but the regret is there. But there are some great body transformations on here where he turns into a lion. There we go. Where he's the goofy Superman, where he has the giant head. I mean, they definitely collected some great stories for this called The Strange Lives of Superman. So, you know what? I've talked myself into it. I don't regret this one anymore. I'm glad I got it. But I can't wait to upgrade it. This next little section of books that I'm going to show you, these are books that they're cool books, honestly. Like, they're books that I think are cool. They're just not books I collect. They're not things I'm putting runs together of. Again, they were those impulse buys where I saw it, I had already made some kind of purchase that I did want, and these were kind of justifying making that purchase more worth it. But in the end, they just weren't books that I wanted. Adventure Comics number 434, I do like the Spectre, and I love these covers. I think this is a cool book. It's just not a book for me. It's not a book that I collect. But I mean, look at this guy. What a great cover with his head falling off and the Spectre in the background and the funhouse mirrors. I mean, I got this because the cover was really cool. But again, I'm not a Spectre collector. Spectre collector. Now, this character I do like, and this character I did sort of start buying issues of, but after I started reading the issues, I didn't like them that much. So this one I regret because it's just not kind of what I wanted. But this is a Marvel Spotlight on the Son of Satan. This is issue number 14. He is a character that I really think is absolutely ridiculous in his costume and the fact that he was a hero at all. I mean, Son of Satan, come on. But he was on the Defenders, and I found some issues and picked them up, and they weren't great. They weren't great reads. And then I continued to buy them because I'm a completionist and an idiot. So I don't know. I don't regret having this one, but when it comes right down to it, like, do I want this, or would I rather have a hole filled in another run that I'm collecting? Honestly, I would rather have that because this just feels extra, even though it's okay. I love my Silver Age DC, but Metal Men is not a book that I collect, and I grabbed this one. I grabbed this one because it was a 12-cent DC, and that was really my only reason. I like the Metal Men. I don't collect the Metal Men. So this is Metal Men issue number 19. Cool cover, maybe a cool book. I don't know. It was a total impulse buy. I love old Brave and the Bold, 12-cent, 15-cent era. This is from the 40-cent era, and it is two characters that I like. Brave and the Bold is Batman's team-up book. So this is Brave and the Bold number 163, where he teams up with Black Lightning. What I remember about this is that I read it when I got it, and it was not a good read. Like, even though I only paid $1 or $2 for it, like, I just thought, man, Black Lightning was written very poorly. The whole adventure was written very poorly, and I just didn't care for the book. So this one was a regret because it just didn't hold up to those older ones that I really think are more fun to read. This one was just very bland and cookie cutter, and it didn't impress me at all. Another character from the Defenders that I absolutely love is Patsy Walker, the Hellcat, and she had a miniseries, and this is the number 1. I think I paid $1 for it. But I'm going to be perfectly honest, I have no interest in putting the full set together. I would read it, like if I found it or if someone loaned it to me, I absolutely would read this book. But it's not a book that I want to put the run together. Again, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, would I rather have this or would I rather have a book filling a hole in my collection? And I would rather have something else. This, again, it feels like I'm giving myself a task to collect, another book, and I really don't want it. So Patsy Walker is a really cool character. She actually has a long history at Marvel, even back to Marvel's golden age. But again, just not a book for me. It was a book, just not a book for me, but it was a book that I grabbed because I was being impulsive. I have a copy of this book in horrible shape. This book is in much better shape. But again, I don't collect Amazing Spider-Man. I used to have so much Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, but I sold it all many years ago because I was focusing more on DC than I was on Marvel, and this is Amazing Spider-Man number 307. This cover is, people know this cover. It's gross. Like, just look at Chameleon's fingers, the way his hands look arthritic and weird. I'm kind of creeped out by the cover. And I think my thought was, when I got this, because I have the one that's all chewed up, that I could take this one, because I got it cheap, I could maybe sell it a little bit better and bundle it with the reader that I have. Well, I mean, in order to sell books, you have to sell books. I'm not a bookseller. Like, every now and again, I sell something on my eBay store, but I couldn't tell you the last time somebody bought something off me on eBay, comic book wise. I'm doing better selling my son's old clothes that he's grown out of than I am on comic books. So it's just not really a seller's market, and again, it's not something I do. So I bought this for a reason that doesn't even exist. But it is Todd McFarlane, and I love Todd McFarlane's art. How can you not? So, I don't know. Maybe I don't hate this one. I mean, I don't hate any of these, but I don't know why I got this. Up next, I've got Thing issue 12. I do not collect the Thing, and I know exactly why I bought this, and it does have a really cool, like, Doctor Doom cover, all right? I bought this because I like any comic book where the trade dress becomes manipulated, becomes part of the story, becomes interacted with. I think it's cool. There's a lot of great covers where they take the title and they utilize it on the cover, like they're doing here with Doctor Doom, like crushing the Thing's name up here. But what am I gonna do with this? I don't collect the Thing. I don't collect Marvel, really. So, again, this is something where it's like, oh, do I sell it? I'm not a seller. I'm not good at selling books, so no. I bought it because I bought it because the trade dress gets manipulated. What a stupid reason to make a purchase, but I mean, it's just kind of the story of Whatnot sometimes. Up next, I got a couple. Just what was I thinking? I don't even know. I own one Vampirella trade paperback of collected old stories. I bought this random issue number 15 from Harris Comics. I don't know anything about it. I don't know why I bought it. It honestly does not appeal to me that much. It's not even like a great, like sexy Vampirella cover. This is just like kind of run-of-the-mill 90s looking art. I do like the guy down here with 3 eyes, but aside from that, there's nothing here of interest for me. Remember Savage Dragon? I got issue 6. I don't know why. I don't remember getting this. It's just, it was in with a bunch of other stuff, but I must have bid on it, and I must have, it must have been like $1, and I thought, for $1, I'll give it a read. It's still taped up. I haven't read it. I probably won't. What was I thinking? Another book that I did like back in the day from Image, one of their launch titles, I believe, was The Max by Sam Keith. I think his artwork is amazing. Now, it was one of the books that as I was cleaning out my personal collection, I decided, you know what? This is something I think I can let go. I'm probably not going to reread it, and I did sell that book. I think there was some buzz a while back, like that they were going to make a movie, and I haven't heard anything else about that, but I was able to sell it as a bundle on eBay most of the run that I had, and then that regret kicked in, and I ended up buying, like, I got 3 issues here. I've got a number 1, and this is not the only number 1. I have like 3 number 1s that I've bought from different places because I have a problem buying first issues. But I do like the art on this one. I'm not sad to have it back in the collection. I also got issue 5 and issue 6. Max is a very unique book, very unique art style, but I had already decided that I could let that go before, and then I just turned right around and was like, no, I can't. I need it. So I don't know what's wrong with me. All right. Up next, I've got books that I grabbed that this is like the I don't even know what this is section. So this is Stalker number 3. I think I got this because I felt like it must be part of the Warlord universe, and I do love Mike Grell's Warlord, but I don't know what this is, and I've got the 3rd issue, and it just seems very random. I do want to check it out, though, just because it is so odd. I like odd books, but I don't know. This is something that I didn't need to purchase. Another book I did not need to purchase was The Mask Returns, This book, they turned into a movie with Jim Carrey. The art, this cover seems good enough to me, and it says it has a free mask. A free mask? It says a free mask on the inside. Well, we should see what that is. Oh, all right. That's kind of cool. Like, this is on, cardstock in the middle of the book, so I guess you would cut this out. Cut out your eye holes, and you've got a mask. Is that worth purchasing it? Having it? Maybe. What the heck is this? Conqueror of the Barren Earth. The Conqueror. Issue 4. What even is this? I have no idea what this is. Conqueror of the Barren Earth, issue 4. This is an odd cover. Odd looking characters. It looks very 80s sci-fi fantasy. If you know what this is, please tell me below, because I have no idea what this is. I don't know why I grabbed it. It is odd for me. Oh, it's a 4-part miniseries, and this is the 4th issue, so I know how it ends, or I will if I ever read it. But, I think I grabbed this because it was DC fantasy from the 80s, and I enjoy a lot of titles from that era, but this, I have, I have no idea. I have no idea what this is. This one, not only do I not know what it is, it also has a sticker on the cover. Man, I hate when there's a sticker on the cover. So this is The Adventures of Rick Raygun and Quasimodos. All right. The Adventures of Rick Raygun and Quasimodos. And there is a yellow sticker right there. This is published by a company called a Stop Dragon comic. Never heard of it, never heard of Rick Raygun. I grabbed it because I thought to myself, oh, you like weird 80s independent books, you should grab that. Well, I mean, if I know of it, if it's something that I want to read, I don't know if I do. I'll have to check this out because that is so weird. That is so weird. All right, this one's going in the maybe pile. This one's kind of cool. Good Lord. Remember Kamandi, The Last Boy on Earth? Well, what about Kamandi at Earth's End, written by Tom Veitch, which I do know him. But this was an Elseworlds book. What are they doing here? What are they doing here? So he is really just 90s out with, he is covered in guns and bullets. Let's get a closer look here at what Kamandi looks like. That is not the Kamandi that we all know from older DC comics. So that is wild. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm down to like my last 5 books. I'm down to like my last 5 books here, and I know exactly why I got most of them. So the first one is I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I love the parodies and things that they've done of them over the years. And this is one of them. It wasn't good. I read it. It was terrible. This is Geriatric Gangrene Jiu-Jitsu Gerbils. The cover's bad. The story's bad. I didn't like this at all. So while I do like the parodies, I can't say that I'm happy to have this one. Look, it's foily gimmicky nonsense. It got me again. Shadowhawk #1, another image book. Shadowhawk #1. I literally bought this because it was a #1 and because it had a foily cover. I have no other reason or explanation beyond that. I don't remember much about Shadowhawk. I remember him being around, but I was like, whatever. I got Darkhawk. Shadowhawk feels like, can we stop for Darkhawk, Mom? We have Darkhawk at home, and this is the Darkhawk you have at home. I don't know, maybe it's good. Here's another one. They got me. It's Hulk issue 400 with this crazy sparkly foil, these foily lines coming out of every which way. I've seen this cover a million times. I kind of made fun of the Hulk wedding issue at one point because it was gimmicky and ridiculous, and then I turned right around and bought this. If this is written by Peter David, it's probably pretty good, so I won't be upset to read it, but again, I'm not a Hulk collector, so I don't know what I was thinking. All right, I'm down to my last 2 books, and they are incredibly embarrassing. Like, why would I buy this? Being impulsive, liking comic book memes, being stupid, like, I don't have a good answer for you. So the first one is The New Mutants, issue number 93. I actually really like The New Mutants, the early ones where it's, the kid team, especially the ones where Bill Sienkiewicz does the covers. This is not Bill Sienkiewicz. This is Robert Liefeld. And as we all know, I wanted to point out, he did try to draw feet here. I don't know how successful he was, but we've got Wolverine and Cable, and they're grappling with each other, but the longer you look at this, the worse it gets. And I'm gonna really zoom in here. I want you to look at Wolverine's body. Like, it is so not right, especially as you get down into the crotch. He looks like a wasp stinging Cable in the side, the way he's like kind of arching his spine. Rob Liefeld's anatomy is notoriously terrible, and this is a great example of that. And now it's in my collection for no good reason. And then, I'm sure this was the one they put up right after, because here's New Mutants number 94, and this one is hysterical because if you look at it, you will see that Mr. Liefeld artfully hid everyone's feet behind his artsy-fartsy BS smoke in the background. Do we see Sunspot's feet? No, no. Do we see Boom Boom's feet? No. Okay, what about Cable's? No. Wolverine? No. Nobody's feet are shown. Everyone's feet are faded into the mist of the background. I don't like Rob Liefeld's art. I don't collect the New Mutants from this era. I got this because I thought it would be funny to show somebody. So I hope you got a laugh out of it, because otherwise I wasted like $3 here. So that's it. Those are books that I picked up on Whatnot that I definitely shouldn't have. I mean, I am curious. Does anybody else do this? Do you do impulse buys, especially on auctions or Whatnot? Or maybe like you buy a lot somewhere and you're like, why did I do that? So I have tried to cool down on Whatnot quite a bit, and I've done a really good job of it. And this is one of those reasons. Like, as I go through those purchases that I've made, and I have a few books that I'm really happy to get, I find out I have an equal or, even more books that I wish I didn't. So I'm swearing off Whatnot for a little bit. I still get alerts on my phone. I check it out every now and again. Okay, so an auction just started. DC Silver Age, $3 starts. We might have to see where this goes. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. I hope to see you in the next one, all right? Bye-bye.